Hello and welcome back. My name is Aaron Sanchez and I am a health and fitness coach. Today I wanted to talk about something that's very, very important, and I think it's a unique way to think about it. I had never thought about it like this, but it was inspired by an article I read, and it was actually talking about investments in retirement. And so it was a different financial article that I had, perspective that I had just never really thought of. And essentially, to start from the end and work backwards, basically the premise was thinking about your worries, thinking about your concerns in retirement, then working to close those worries, those concerns. And so what that would look like in finances is, let's say, thinking about rising healthcare costs, or if you have a pre-existing condition that you know you're going to have to take care of later on in life, then finding some sort of vehicle to invest in that would bolster your coverage. So when you are in retirement, you don't have to concern yourself so much with the possibility that that is going to bankrupt you, because you've invested, you've put resources there that will help you later in life. So that's one way to close the gap in between what keeps you up at night and also where you are now. So it protects you now, protects you later. So it just got me thinking, today's topic is, what is your health investment plan? Because obviously we are trying to plan for today, but we're also trying to plan for the future. So taking some of those same questions, I also will give you a very simple tool to plan out your action. It's a plan of action on how to proceed, how to kind of work through everything. I think it's very simple, easy to remember, and it's something I use pretty frequently, not only with clients, but also with myself. So your health investment plan. The first thing is to sit down, think about what keeps you up at night right now. So any issues you may have, that could be being overweight, that could be not having time to get to the gym, that could be diet. There's many things that it could potentially be that are keeping you up at night. And if you were to think about the future, like, what does health mean to you in the future? What does health mean to you now? And kind of in the same vein is, how does health affect your life? I don't think we really take the time to think about those things until we're forced to make a change. And doing it then just isn't as good as if we pre-plan or if we try to get out ahead of those problems. So maybe you have knee issues or back issues, or you are, 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight. So how does your health affect you now? But how is that going to affect your life in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? So sitting down and taking time to work through these things can help you to formulate your plan. And so the big takeaway there is thinking about everything that potentially keeps you up at night, that concerns you, that you're struggling with, and creating that investment plan. But instead of finances, it's a health investment plan. And on the back end, it's just simply dedicating more time and more resources to those things and kind of letting some of the other things fall off. Now, you don't depend, it's obviously dependent. You don't want to like say, I want to move better and I'm just going to eat terribly. It's not what I'm saying. But I recently did a health mindset certification class that I was just to kind of figure out how to enact change, really for clients, of course, but also for myself to be able to have more tools at my disposal to go through these things. And one of the cool ways to kind of sit down and plan all this out, it's a very simple acronym. It's WOOP, WOOP. And I'm going to go through each of those things very quickly, but it's how you create your health investment plan. So the W is going to stand for wish. So what is it you desire? Is it's keeping you up at night being 15 pounds overweight? Okay, well, you're going to write that out. Wish is to lose that 15 pounds. Now, the first O in the WOOP model is going to be outcome. So don't just think about losing that 15 pounds, which obviously is the wish, but how is that going to change your life? Like, are you going to dress differently? What new habits are you picking up? Do you have more energy? Are you able to take maybe a hiking trip that you can't now because you're just in a better position? So don't just move beyond just the end goal, but really think about how your life is going to be affected, potentially positively, hopefully positively, but also potentially negatively. Like, what habits do you need to change, work to change, so that you can maintain the results? So that ties into what does health mean to you? How is health affecting you now? How will it affect your future? So that first O is outcome, but it's more than just the end goal. It's, you've hit this goal, how's everything changed? Attitude, as many details as you want to add to personalize that is perfectly fine. So the second O in the WOOP model is obstacles. Obstacles are always going to come up. In talking with clients, some of the common ones are finding the time. I have clients who are working professionals who are on the road constantly. They have kids. They're very, very busy. And in that, we have to work to identify spaces in their schedule to be able to fit all of this stuff in. And it's a process. It's not something that is going to happen overnight. But you also want to write out, does your spouse or partner support your goal? How does your family, do your friends know about your goal? Do they support your goal? Are you eating out, 5-6 times a week, and it's just pretty unstructured? You're kind of eating whatever you want. How are you going to work through all of these potential obstacles? Because they will come up, let's just be real, and you'll have to learn how to navigate those things. So if you have a blueprint of potential obstacles in your life now, it's going to be much, much easier to have a remedy for those things, rather than just simply flying by the seat of your pants and kind of trying to tackle them as they come up. That is, I'm laughing because it only extends the process, but it just can feel like you're spinning your wheels. And oftentimes it's when we run into those obstacles, those problems, that people just end up falling off the wagon and giving up in that spot. So they're all pretty important, but I think one that is really a good one to spend a little bit more time with, to really take an inventory of your life and see where there's going to be some potential hangups. Now the P, the last letter in the WHOOP plan, is actually the plan, and it ties in with everything else. So we know where we want to go. We know how that's going to benefit our lives. We know the potential obstacles. Now, what are you going to do to get there? Like, we have all that information. Where are you today? What needs to change in the next week, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, and beyond, so that you're working towards that goal? But the plan also includes what you're going to do when you actually get there, and how you're going to live beyond that time to be able to sustain those results. So that the WHOOP plan is something I really do use pretty frequently. I find it's easy to go through. It's customizable. It's really dependent on you and like how in depth you want to get into it to be able to put some of these things into action to create your health investment plan. But you can use it for anything, for finances, for, I mean, really anything that has a goal and has objections you have to work through. So I find it really cool, really beneficial. So in closing, it's crucial to think about not only today, but to think about 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road, like what it is you are wanting to affect now and affect later. Like maybe you have a history of like Alzheimer's or dementia in your family, and that's something that, you know, we're starting to see. It's a 30-year disease. So if you're 40 and we start to see the onset in, you know, late 60s, 70s, what you're doing today is protecting you 30 years down the road. So maybe that is finding out more information on how to better combat or protect yourself, at least give yourself an advantage, and what you need to do, the steps you need to take, so you're just not flying blindly in those things. So definitely, if you have any questions about the WHOOP model, if you know any other questions, you can think of anything that I really didn't touch upon, I'd love to hear your comments, read those comments. Definitely you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Aaron_Lee_Sanchez. And if you want to hear like more strategies, more mindset stuff, again, hit the like button, subscribe. I love mindset. I feel like that is really what holds most people back when we're going for any sort of change, whether that be trying to establish a routine in the gym or trying to lose weight, put on muscle. And that is where I find I'm spending most of my time, working with clients and also researching, learning to try to better help. So hit that like button, and I will see you next time.